took me 6 years, but I'm finally done.
All right. Finally, it's over.
I will miss nothing about the school, nothing. I'll probably miss a couple of my professors. Yeah, right.
See that guy over there with the glasses on?
Yeah.
He needs to be interviewed.
Okay,
He's been here for 6 years.
No, so that's not true. It took me 4 on the dot, and I'd like to say that I am one of 26% of the people who did finish in 4 years, and I'm very happy to say that.
Anything you're gonna miss about the school?
Oh God, no.
Everything. I will. I love it.
Not the classes, that's for sure. Anything else I'll miss, but
It's been a great experience.
This is probably one of the most exciting days of our entire lives. It's a moment in time that we will always remember, and it's a thrilling day. The weather's beautiful, everyone's excited, there's smiles everywhere, and it'll be definitely a day to remember for the rest of our lives.
Please stand for our next act. Joel Smith, trustee, Mr. David Watson, trustee, Dr. Mitch Colby, assistant professor of geology, George Howard, Senior Vice President of Student Affairs. Dr. Wayne Patterson, he's a graduate studies and Vice President of Research and Professional Services. Dr. David Ford, Dean of the Library. Dr. Samuel Hines, Jr., Dean of the School of Academic Affairs. Dr. David Mann, Professor of Political Science, Speaker of the night. Ms. Janet Wade, our sign language interpreter. Ms. Jessica Hoover, college student and vocalist and a 1994 graduate. Ms. Anna Kristen McCowan, college Charleston student and vocalist and 1994 graduate. Ms. Michelle Slade, president of the senior class. Ms. Mary Abigail Edwards, president of the Student Government Association. And Dr. Harry Lyson, Jr., president of Americas of College of Charleston. We also have with us two special.
Charleston has had many honors bestowed on it, and is recognized by the Fifth Guide to Colleges as one of the top 10 best public liberal arts colleges in the country. I celebrate myself to what I want to become. I encourage everyone here today to not dwell on what you are, but to focus on what you want to become. Ralph Waldo Emerson tried to answer the question, what is success? To leave the world a bit better, followed by a healthy child, the hard work, or being social traditions.
And a former member of the Eastern Operations Advisory Council. He has served as a veteran, chairman of the legal committee, union warden, and senior warden at the College of Charleston. From 1970 to 1988, he was a member of the State College Board of Trustees and served as its chairman from 1981 until 1988. When the second Board of Trustees,
1993. During the 10-day mission, the Discovery's crew deployed the U.S. Advanced Communications Technology Satellite and the Shuttle Pellet Satellite with NASA Headquarters Action Center in Washington, D.C., assisting with the investigations conducted after the Challenger accident. Include the Defense Superior Service Medal, NASA Space Flight Medal, Navy Commendation Medal, Air Force Commendation Medal, the Humanitarian Service Medal, and 3 Meritorious Unit Commendations. He presently serves as Chief Universe and has devoted his life to the service of his country, Mr. Frank Lee Culbertson, Jr.
Frank Lee Culbertson Jr., because of the courage and adventurous spirit you have shown in advancing the cause of American freedom. And the First World War did, however, give war a bad reputation, at least for the time being. Immediately after the First World War, certain factions set in among writers in Europe and soon spread to their obedient colonial counterparts. More stories and books were about World War I pilots. A man named Dr. Charles Moran wrote a scientific treatise on the subject of bravery. He entitled his book The Anatomy of Courage. He had served in the trenches as a medical doctor for the British and later became a lawyer.
Judge Sanders, Dr. Lyson, Dr. Barrett, always fun to come home, especially today on Mother's Day. So before I proceed any further, I'd like to take just a brief moment to recognize all the mothers who are here today. My own mother could not be here. She's home in Holly Hill not feeling. Mothers in the class of 94 whose children are out there in the audience thinking how happy they will be that their graduate is moving back home full time. And you parents are probably thinking that your graduate better not be planning to. To digress one more moment concerning parenthood, I have 4 daughters and a son just like the center of the universe, but it's close to it. In fact, when viewed from 200 miles above Key West, Florida, well south of here at night, Charleston shows as bright as any star or any other city in the world, and it's my guiding light. I made a point of locating it every time we flew by the United States. My wife, who's a native of Indiana, and I occasionally fly a small plane to or across this state, and she insists that even when the state is hidden with clouds, my accent always returns when we cross the state line and are above South Carolina soil. So the countdown continues, right? And you're still there on the launch pad. Being the delays in the explosive charge to move me out of here. You're on this platform because the faculty has confidence in you. So commence your journey with confidence. Confidence in your education, in the tools you have acquired here, and in your ability to honor the institution which is granting you this degree today. So when the clouds roll in, and some future endeavor is delayed or threatened, or when fortune shines on you, deservedly or not, remember where you come from and what that stands for to you and to those around you, and act with confidence. So with confidence, the crew and I returned to the launch pad a week later. The weather was perfect, the crew was upbeat, even the crowd was still there in the area. The mission accomplishes nothing. So it is for you today. There will be many launchings and landings in life, large and small, some possibly fiery re-entries, others gentle touchdowns. But always you must accomplish a mission before you land to refuel. You're landing now at the completion of college. You're launching into what for some may seem like the great unknown, but it's not an unknown. Your mission as a college graduate must be to produce. Take what you have been given by this school, by your parents. Be prepared to lead. To stand up at the point, not always in a military sense, but certainly in a moral sense, when you see that leadership is needed. As you leave this campus for your hometowns, for your entry-level jobs, for graduate school, or for vacation, I challenge each of you to start thinking of yourselves as the leaders of our society, because if doing stands. The count goes smoothly, and I wouldn't quite say that the crew is so relaxed that they're dozing off, but even the rookies are pretty comfortable now. 30 seconds, a little yawn. 20 seconds, 19, no big deal, been there. 6 seconds, engine start, better start watching those. 1.5 million pounds of machinery, and it actually rolls over on its back like a little jet. As the 6 million pounds of thrust push it to the speed of sound in only 40 seconds into the flight, going straight up through about 16,000 feet. It's a success, as Michelle mentioned. I have confidence that many of you will travel much further and faster than I've been fortunate enough to have done, both literally and figuratively. And some will come back to this platform far more deserving of the honors you have so graciously bestowed upon me this day, because you will lead. And if not you, or you, then who will do it? Be strong. Thank you for letting me be a part of this, and God bless you all.
Cynthia Ann Andrews, Daria Clark Atwell, Maury A. Atwell also meets requirements for a major in anthropology. Christine Renee Harper, Betsy Helton, Alexandria Holzball, Melissa. For the bachelor's degree in fine arts, J.J. Foxworth. For the bachelor's degree in music, joining us on the stage will be the chair of the Department of Music, Professor Stephen Rosenberg. Professor Rosenberg will be stand-in for by Professor David Mays, senior member of the department. And Jessica Lee Kuto. Professor Michael Tyzak. Nina Teresa Boughton, Anne-Marie Desoleil, Kimberly Ann Fox, Katie Beth Greer, Jacqueline W. Hyatt,
Gretchen Adele Altman, Christina Marie Anderson, Daniel Scott Baker. Mr. Baker. Eric Bentram. He also meets the requirements for a major in communications. Ashley Nicole Blacketer for major in communications. Thomas F. Redkowski. Elizabeth Reeves. Virginia Miller Register. Daniel Evan Rhodes. John Christopher Richardson, cum laude. Latoya. Kevin Bryant. Angela Christine Sanders. Thomas Timothy E. Sauter. Mr. Sauter also meets the requirements for a major in communications. Omar Tor Chevy. Brian Crosby Sheely. Dana Martin Warner. Demery Dare Warner. Kimberly Ann Webb, summa cum laude. Kevin Barry Whalen, Sanji Udita, Kimberly Lynn Whitty, Todd Michael Wood, Susan Chisholm Wiley, Ronan Zivi, Bradley Zumbawa. The following meet the requirements for the degree in economics. And Dr. Morgan will continue to help to congratulate our graduates in economics. Scott David Bowen. Scott also meets the requirements for business major in business administration.
Okay.
Mark Stephen Graves. Anthony Todd Emerson. Okay. Adam Jeffrey Howland. He also meets the requirements for major in Spanish.
People watching.
Zachary Wagner, graduate of the Honors Program, magna cum laude.
For the bachelor's degree in special education, joining us on stage will be the chair of the Department of Educational Foundation, Catherine Stewart Bush, Stephen Aaron Gabriel, Amy M. Gordon, Virginia Bostic Hancock, Julie Trent Lay, Selena Joanne McCoy, Andrea Edith Miller, Amy Elizabeth Mims, Cheyenne M. Ostrander, Amanda Hughes, Kimberly Sue Sue Quaid, cum laude. Carolyn Walton Reed. Margaret Rittenbacher Rucker. Brandy Christine Smith.
Lee Davis Irvin. Elizabeth Laura Estridge. Brian Lowell Finch. Charles Carroll Gear III, magna cum laude. Katina L. Hall. Laura Kelly. Heather Lee Loveland. Laura Lorraine Maccabee. Catherine Elizabeth Middleton, Honors Program graduate. Brian Benton. Heather Montgomery. Carol Mims Myers. Deborah K. Noble. Leslie Ann Nugent. Shane Catherine Reese. Julius D. Rose Snyder. Amy Lee Stufer. Candace Arlene Thames. John David Wakefield. Caroline Elizabeth Walder. Cum laude, graduate of the Honors Program. For the bachelor's degree in history, joining us on stage will be the chair of the Department of History, Dr. George Hopkins. James L. Hoxie. Sharice R. Jones. Carrie Lynn Jones. Elizabeth Richmond Kemp. Wendy M. Manuel. Francis Renee Matkovich. Thomas Alston McFall. Mr. McFall's diploma will be presented by Dr. Amy McCandless, Associate Professor of History. Emily Estelle McNair. Charles A. Merriweather III. Allison Stewart Naninga. David Miles Novick. William Bruce Ostrom. Robert M. Parker. Antoinette Denise Parsons. Paul L. Pethel. William Forrest Ray. Guy Russell Rosenmead. Charlie. Stephen Flournoy Walker. Scott L. West. Mike Wilson. For the bachelor's degree in French, joining us on stage will be the chair of the languages department, Dr. Carla Lowry. Shara K. Silver. Etta Catherine Simmons, cum laude, graduate of the Honors Program. Stuart Abrams Small. Elizabeth A. Sneed, cum laude. Patrice Althea Tolbert. Nita Nancy Ball. Stacy Lynn Beasy. Terrence A. Williams. Mary Catherine Zorn. Claudia Maria Abukas. Tabitha Acree. Hope Atkinson. Bonnie L. Ball. Jennifer Brooke Blank. Catherine Helen Ann K. Ward. Heather Nicole Braswell, cum laude. Amy Lynn Page. Ashley Gail Chapman. Barry Warren Cohen. Brian Briggs Collins. Barbara Ann Connor. Amy B. Connor. Michelle Leanne Cook. Sybil Butcher Cunningham, cum laude. Misty Tachevis. Elizabeth Reed Costinese. Jill Marianne Beasy. Carrie L. Donahue. Trina Page Doran, cum laude. Thomas Bomar Edmonds III. Sherry L. Ellis, cum laude. William Travis Falls. Robin Page Foley. Jenny Rebecca Freeman. Wendell E. Hilliard. Amy Andre Goubert. Tyler Gardner Galt Jr. Christy Elizabeth Gilmer. Kathy Jo Haynes. Christopher Dale Hildenbrand, cum laude. Fred Johnson. Virginia Haber Kelly. Timothy L. King, also meets requirements for a major in biology. Melissa LaRusso, also meets requirements for a major in biology. Joyce M. Laurel. Meredith Diane Lee. Laura Lee Love. Lance Christopher Marcy, also meets Stephen Shelby Milton.
Teresa Eve Moreland, Christy Michelle Mosley, Lisa Murphy, Octavian Rajuta Nafila, Alicia Michelle Olshinsky, Alan Edward Payne, Elizabeth Ann Phillips, April Dawn Porter, Jason A. Price,
Happy Mother's Day, Ma!
Thomas P. Riley, Julia Teresa, Martina Elizabeth Sal, Virginia L. Saunders, Candace L. Satterfield, Eric Stone, Joel, Nancy Evangeline Shaky, Jennifer Elizabeth Shane, Carol L. Smith, Amy Jo Snyder, Jennifer Jill Whitman, summa cum laude, Kendall Merrill Williams, also meets requirements for service, Suzanne Marie Wolf, Trina L. Wood, John Clark, Kimberly Page Clifton, cum laude, Greg Crosby, Tamara Kristen Davis, Anita Y. Dawson, Helene K. P. Mandy Noel McCarty, Deborah McCormick Hoover, Lois Green Montague, Laura Ann Monteith, Allison Suzanne Maurer, Rebecca Renee Moyer, Kimberly Gray Perrine, Catherine Lee Peters, Lina Elizabeth Meekman, Virginia King Stark, Sarah F. Eric Troy Steele, April Elizabeth Thomas, Lauren Baxter Thomas, Susan Hillary Summerwood, Lori Ann Sumner.
Get us now. Hey, Sue! Hey, man, don't forget about us, man. Okay. Don't forget about us. Come back and see us.
For the bachelor's degree in biology, joining us on stage will be the chair of the Department of Biology, Dr. Lewis Burnett. Mary Branham Beery, Catherine J. Blackman, Jennifer Marta Blum, Tracy L. Bryant, Sherry L. Bynum, Christopher Lane Chapman, Michelle Clayton, Davison, Jennifer Carey Day, Heidi Noel Dearman, Michelle A. Devlin, Kimberly Brooke Dietrich, Andrew B. Dill. Andrew Dill's diploma will be presented by a friend of the family, Dr. Frank Coates. Barbara G. Ernst, Brett C. Balaw, Melissa Russell Gardner, William Scott Garris, Tracy Tammy Lee Lawrence, Jennifer Hayes Leahy, Stephanie S. Logan, Jody Lynn Ludeman, cum laude, Marisa McConnell, Lauren Oberlin, Hilary Kittrick Parikh, Susan Champek Patel, Amy Melissa Pekarsky, graduate of the Honors Program, Edward Rack, John Paul Riley, Amy Schudacher Redberg, Jean D. Reinhardt, Michael D. Ritter, Tracy M. Robinson, Andrew David Saber, Alice J. Sanders, Roseanne Sayoc, graduate of the Honors Program, Matthew E. Shantz, magna cum laude, Mary Conley, graduate of the Honors Program, cum laude, Stacy Lee DeWitt, Jason Christopher Ferrero, Patrick D. Jackson, John D. Jones, Richard Thomas Krause, cum laude, Arla Lindsay, Stephanie Ann Lovegreen, cum laude, Eric W. Marriott, Robert Ellis Mayfield Jr., Erin Carroll Lacer, Jennifer K. Schultz, magna cum laude, William Ellen Sherrod, Brookie Lynn Thompson, also Richard Lewis Street, Nicole Lynn Zelatek. For the bachelor's degree in biochemistry, joining us on stage will be the chair of the Department of Chemistry,
Genius and human honours, Zurus, Lady Roberts, Brown, Human, Baccalaureate, and Nidsa. Assistance was to accommodate the largest graduating class in the history of college. Two announcements. Ladies and gentlemen, chapter 5, legal protocol invites you to attend the reception by graduates and families to be held in the third summer garden immediately after exercise. The audience is requested to remain in place until the reception is complete. Our graduates request to continue the procession down Lee Street to meet their families and friends outside the student center. In order to involve and get around towards Lodge, so we get down to the street, everybody catch up to everybody play. Finally, a word farewell. You were all my children. We who have been your teachers taught you all we know.
Oh, really?
And this is my 5-year-old.
All right.
And my husband, where's Honey? Oh my goodness. All right.
We're gonna be a little hug here.
Hug Mommy. Love you.
How are you squish up?
Hug Mommy. Look at the camera. Okay.
Ken, what are you doing? I want to get a picture of Dr. J.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Yeah, he just got accepted to grad school in Minnesota. I appreciate it. Nice to see you found you wound up in the season of the game. Yeah. I appreciate everything. Is that because you graduated? Or? Hey, how about hug mom? Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Who's the graduate here?
I am. She is. We are.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, well, let me see a hug here. Let's get the hug. Oh, something's good. Thanks. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. It's nice to have your wife back. Yeah, that's true.
Good to see you, Lois. Good to see you. We made it, girl. Yeah, we made it, girl. Hi, Lois. This is my sister-in-law, Inez.
Okay, thank you. Well, congratulations. That was a big hug you.
My oldest daughter, Sharia. My son-in-law, Jared. Son-in-law.
All right, congratulations.
And my 5-year-old Isaac.
How are you? I'm so glad you could be here. I'm really glad. Did y'all get to see everything? You did? Were you sitting in the auditorium?
Taking your picture, smile, listen.
That's why they hit Christina.
Oh, is that right? Is your family here?
Yes, sir.
I want to see a hug.
Oh, yeah. I can do that.
Thanks.
What's new? Yeah. Always out of attention. Hello there.
I haven't received my hug yet.
Wow, no, look at this thing. It's gigantic.
Well, I know that.
Look at it. It's swimming in double-breasted.
I know.
This thing needs to be.
Thank you, Lordy. Thank you, Lordy.
Thank you, thank you. I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, see ya.
I swear.
There she is. I'm waving her.
Wonderful.
Where's your folks at?
Congratulations to you, kids. Okay.
Act like you hadn't seen them yet.
I like how I see my family?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, come on. This is my sister.
She go to Japan this year.
Oh, yeah. Hold on a second. Wait. Oh. Right, go.
Okay. I get a hug.
So proud.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. Right.
I will see y'all at the reception. Are you coming?
Oh, listen.
say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Chrissy. You may be seated. I welcome each of you here today for the purpose of honoring our 1994 graduate degree candidates. Dr. Harrison Randolph once offered this prayer: let our students grow in grace day by day, enlighten their minds, purify their hearts, and sanctify their wills. Our graduates today represent the answer to his prayer. Let us rejoice in them. Let the ceremonies begin. I begin by introducing the platform party, emeritus of the Board of Trustees. Dr. John Clark, trustee. Ms. Sylvia Harvey, trustee. Mr. John Maloney, trustee. Mr. Vincent Price, trustee. Mr. David Watson, trustee. Dr. Wayne Patterson, Dean of Graduate Studies and Vice President for Research and Professional and Community Services at the college. Dr. David Cohen, Dean of the Library. Dr. Samuel Hines, Jr., Dean of the School of Humanities and Social Sciences. Dr. Gordon Jones, Dean of the School of Sciences and Mathematics. Dr. Edward McGuire, Dean of Dr. Conrad Fester, Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. David Mann, Professor of Political Science and Speaker of the faculty. Ms. Jana Brady, Sign Language Interpreter. Ms. Kristen McCallum, College of Charleston student, 1994 graduate, vocalist. Ms. Mary Abigail Edwards, President of the Student Government Association. Dr. Mitchell Johnson, Seymour Johnson Federal Prison Camp, Goldsboro, North Carolina. The inmates there are required to dress in green uniforms. The effect is startling. Hundreds of men, all dressed in lime green jumpsuits. I took the title of my speech from Kermit the Frog. You remember him from Sesame Street? He said, it's not easy being green. Not easy being green. I think they knew exactly what he meant. Robert Fulger, who wrote that runaway bestseller, All I Ever Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten, wrote a second book entitled It Was on Fire When I Lay Down on It. The title of the second book comes from an incident reported in a tabloid newspaper. A small-town fire department was summoned to a house where smoke was pouring from an upstairs window. The firemen broke in. They found a man lying in a smoldering bed. The man was rescued and the mattress was doused. The fireman then asked the obvious question, how did this happen? I don't know, said the man. It was on fire when I lay down on it. A lot of us could settle for that on our tombstones. It's a life sentence and a story. Out of the frying pan into the hot water, I was looking for trouble and I got into it as soon as I found it. The devil made me do it the first time. After that, I did it on my own. Robert Fulger tells another story in the beginning of his book. It's a story that actually happened to me. Not long after I arrived at the College of Charleston, I was walking across the campus and I saw a member of the faculty sitting on a bench getting ready to eat his lunch. He peered down into the brown paper bag on his lap and he loudly complained that in his lunch sack, day after day, had the same damn thing. Who fixes your lunch, I asked. I do, he said. It is, of course, an important thing for you to be graduated today, but just as important is the fact that you are graduating for at least the second time. You have drunk deeply from Alexander's Pope's Payne Spring for today is indeed for each of you a commencement for the rest of your lives. The great authors of the past have had a lot to say about the shape of a life and about the key moments in it. Graduation ceremony brings to mind Thomas Hardy's image of the cycles of the natural world and its implications for our world. Confronting yet another spring and yet another moment in life's endless urge to renew itself, Thomas Hardy wrote, the season had developed and matured. Another year's installments of flowers, leaves, nightingales, thrushes, finches, and such other ephemeral creatures took up their positions where only a year ago others had stood in their position. Today you are all at a moment in your lives where you have developed and matured. There is, however, in Hardy's image of generational transition, a hint of sadness in the rapidity of change. Nevertheless, his insistence on the fleeting and the transient in no way undermines the importance of what each generation can accomplish. Indeed, the brevity of time when each of us can really make a difference lends more, not less, significance to what we do when such moments of passage are at hand. Some of you who are graduating today are older. You have already made the transition to full adulthood. Others of you are making that grand transition today. The burdens of family and professional responsibility begin to descend upon you. Each of you has had responsibility before, I'm sure of that. In early years, however, and until now, the balance between being a receiver and a giver of benefits has leaned largely in the direction of receiving. Now, as you move out into the workplace, as you move from being someone's child to someone's husband, someone's wife, or someone's parent, the increasingly urgent question will be not what you need, but what you can give. As you stand here today in the presence of parents, husbands, wives, friends, and relatives from whom you have received so much, bear in mind that it will only be a brief time. A brief time is described by Thomas Hardy. Before you return to this place or some similar place as a parent yourself, no less anxious and no less proud than those who surround you today. Each generation, you see, inherits a world it never made, and that generation must make its own account to its own children. The time is long gone when the grand answers were authoritatively inscribed in unchallengeable text. National media persists in referring to the present generation as the me generation. Jogging has replaced protest marches. Jane Fonda has swapped sit-ins for sit-ups. Food has become in the 20th century what sex was in the 19th, a source of guilt and shame. Is this an improvement? Well, I don't know. But I do know this. I know that the students today reflect an infinitely greater moral sense than the student body of which I was a part in the 1950s. Does it surprise some of you to hear me say that? Let me stop and explain briefly. Morality and proper behavior can be judged in a number of ways, some profound and some trivial. James Q. Wilson, professor of public policy at UCLA, recently wrote a book entitled The Moral Sense. In it, he makes the observation that beneath our wars, our crimes, our persecutions, our prejudices, our snobberies, and our adulteries, there is a desire, not only for praise, but for praiseworthiness, for fair dealing, as well as good deeds, for honor, as well as for advantage. There are no better examples in the world of the truth of what he said than students at the College of Charleston. The fact that some of them make a little bit too much noise on the weekend, drink a little bit too much beer sometimes, and even get a little bit too close to their sweethearts is nowhere near as important as the loving, caring, and unselfish attitude they demonstrate every day in their lives. I am grateful for the opportunity to live among them. Who wouldn't? The difference in students then and now is that students and the rest of the world are no longer convinced that the redistribution of wealth will solve all social problems. What has replaced that conviction is the recognition that before benefits can be redistributed, they must first be generated. And that's a sobering thought. It's a necessary one. While it rightly redirects expectations, it should not be allowed to reduce expectations or to narrow actions. The historical goals of this nation, the ancient values of its culture, the uplifting visions of its religions are resources that remain at your disposal. The great texts that enshrine them, the great spokesmen that have embodied them continue to speak, and upon you rests the responsibility of ensuring that they keep on speaking. Like nightfall does not come all at once, neither does oppression. Remember that intellectual growth and discovery require the right to think the unthinkable, discuss the unmentionable, challenge the unchallengeable. To curtail freedom of expression strikes twice at freedom, for whoever deprives another of the right to state an unpopular view necessarily deprives someone else of the right to hear those words. Leave censorship of John Locke's Marketplace of Ideas. When young, we are fascinated by deeds. As we get older, we prefer ideas. We find few things are as rare as good ideas. In your studies, you have learned the best of the past. You have learned the best that the past has to teach you. You have learned in Matthew Arnold's phrase, the best that has been known and said in our culture. You have acquired strategies of learning. You have acquired methods of reasoning. You have acquired modes of interpretation, techniques of analysis. You have learned that it's sometimes all right to color outside the lines. More important than the information you've absorbed, the disciplinary skills you have acquired, however, is something that will guide your life even when the information becomes outdated and the skills become outworn. As graduate students, you have learned what colleges and universities struggle most desperately to teach. You have learned how to learn. Now, as the balance of your lives between receiving and giving moves unalterably toward the latter, as you take away with you the hard-earned capacity to learn, you must now take on the responsibility of teaching those who will follow you. I do not mean this in the narrow sense of classroom teaching, although the importance of that is evident enough. I mean teaching in a larger sense, in the sense that we all understand and we come to recognize that education is a lifelong activity. It's bounded by neither age nor experience nor by classroom walls. As responsibility is passed to your hands, it will not do, as you live the rest of your life, to assume that someone else will bear the major burdens, that someone else will demonstrate the key convictions, that someone else will take care of the poor, that someone else will visit the sick, protect civil rights, enforce law, preserve culture, transmit value, maintain civilization, and defend freedom. You must never forget that what you do not value will not be valued. What you do not remember will not be remembered. What you do not change will not be changed. What you do not do not be done. You can, if you will, craft a society whose leaders, business and political, are less obsessed with the need for money. It's not really so much a question of what to do, the will to do it. To earn a graduate degree is to have struggled with the complexities of the culture. You have learned to be vigilant, to be wary of escapism, fraudulence, and self-deception. You also have learned, in Virginia Woolf's phrase, the cost of vigilance without vision. Vigilance may eliminate many risks, but only at the sad expense of all redeeming opportunities. Contemporary vigilance, you have been taught. The history of visionary moments, you have been shown. But the vision of your generation, you must now display. You see, we who have been your teachers have taught you all we know. We await with pride and with hope the emergence of your vision. the achievement of your goals. It's been a pleasure and an honor to have shared with you the task of reshaping the past and remaking the future. The flowers appear on the earth, the time of singing has come. Now you must shape your future alone. I will spare you that cliche of all graduation speeches. I will not tell you the future belongs to you. Instead, I will tell you that the future is not a gift, but an achievement. It has to be earned. It does not belong to those who are content with today, nor does it belong to those who have forgotten the past. We who have been your teachers are now becoming part of the past. We hope you will remember us as we will remember you. We hope you will remember to teach us as we once taught you. We hope you will remember 3 other things. If it's on fire, don't lay down on it. Most of us fix our own lunch, and it's not easy being green. You will always be our children, our adult children, but our children nonetheless. We love you very much. Thank you. I now assist the presentation of the master's degrees.
Mr. President, upon the teaching,
Dr. Pamela Tisdale, Dean of the School of Education, Chair, Department of Early Childhood. Rebecca Holloway Prosser. Rebecca N. Bachelor, Chairman Emeritus of the Board of Trustees. Jennifer B. Birdsall. Ruth Lee Kratz. Angela Dennis Lavick. Nancy Salters Hersey. Sandra Hughes Gerald. Waynell L. Mays Mann. In special education, Margaret Joyce Daly. Mitchell Johnson, Chairman Emeritus of the State College Board of Trustees. Anna Catherine McCrae.
By the authority granted to me by the College of Charleston Board of Trustees, the degree of Master of Arts in Teaching has been declared upon these candidates.